everybody, Arnaldo Hoffman here of Gear It First. I was actually going to do this video that was called Crap DJ Say, which is some insane stuff I've read on forums. But the first video, like the first thing, was so long. I'm just going to do this in multiple videos because who wants to hear somebody ramble for 15, 20, 30 minutes straight? Unless it's a seminar. Okay, so the number one thing that I keep reading, or well, number 10, I think was on the list, 5, I don't know, does it really matter? Was, well, you got to start somewhere. And this, usually comes from a DJ posting about a playlist. Hey, I've never done this event before. What do I play? And you get lots of various advice, some good, some bad, most terrible. And then one person that says, why are you taking this on and doing this service to your client? Which I agree with that personally. And then somebody underneath comments, well, you got to start somewhere. And it's true. Nobody just enters this industry knowing how to do every type of event or the event they want to do within their Red Velvet Rope policy. But why is it this is the only industry that gets away with saying, well, you got to start somewhere? Imagine if you're flying on, I don't know, let's say Airlines, and the flight attendant gets on and, well, if you look to your right, you will see some beautiful clouds, a little thunderstorm. We're going to avoid that though, because on the left-hand side, you're going to see the engine completely on fire as we crash and burn towards a horrible, watery death. And everybody's screaming. She goes, hey, slow down. The pilot has to start somewhere. Imagine you got a botched up surgery, you die, and they tell your spouse, well, surgeon's got to start somewhere. Now you might say, Arnaldo, that's a little bit crazy comparing a DJ to a pilot or a doctor who, it's a life and death situation. They have to go to school. Okay, fine. Hire somebody to paint the house. And then you come out with a horrible cross-hatch pattern and there's paint everywhere and it's not matching the color. Oh, and it peels 3 days later because they forgot to primer it or they wound up putting oil on top of latex. But when you call, they're like, yeah, I'm sorry, everybody's got to start somewhere. This industry is ridiculous. We let people get away with that, and that's BS. That does us a service to a client, and if they charge a higher end price tag, now they think all the higher end DJs are ripoffs. Why can't it be the cheap DJs doing this? I mean, they do, but people aren't expecting much out of them. Hey, he showed up and wore pants. Sweet. So here's the thing, right? How do you start somewhere? I'm going to use myself as an example. Before I did an Indian event, I just didn't hop in and just picked a random Bhangra or Punjabi or Bollywood and hope it worked. No, I actually did lighting and audio events for people that were hiring an Indian DJ that had the experience but did not necessarily know how, or didn't have the lighting or didn't know how to do some extreme audio. Because believe me, those weddings are loud. They love it loud. Or, even just something as simple as photo booth. And of course, I've introduced myself to the DJ and all that. Usually we are hours apart, so we're not competition. So I'm, hey, I'll take some notes if you don't mind. And they usually don't care, especially because we're not competition in that sense. And if we are competition, I try to make it as friendly as possible. Another option that you could do is go work under somebody else. But, that's a little dangerous in the sense that I don't want to train somebody that's going to be my competition. I just simply wouldn't do it. I'll be honest with you. And I'll tell the person, look, I'm not going to train my competition. No. Now, if you want to come work for me as a technician and you do your own DJ thing, sure. But I got to get something out of it. Now, a lot of people subcontract. I personally don't. And if they subcontract, they might be willing to bring you onto those events, knowing that they're training their next DJ that they could subcontract. And if you two are cool with that, cool. So again, you could offer a service that's not DJ, take notes. You could subcontract some or under somebody else and get or shadow, learn whatever under them. Or you could pay somebody to come in and teach you how to do it. That has done those events, whether you're subcontracting them or whatnot. There's 3 super easy ways. I really do not like this whole learn on the fly. Now, you could tell your client that. And if you do, that's a whole different story. I'll give you an example. One of my very, very first weddings that I did where they wanted strictly soca. I have never played soca and calypso before. I've done a lot of Jamaican weddings where we were doing a lot of dance hall, reggae, vocal. And I told him, look, I've done this, but I've never done any weddings from, where everybody's coming in from the Bahamas and we're doing a lot of soca and calypso. I don't think I'm the right DJ for that. And they're like, no, look, we'll give you a list. As long as you know you can kind of fill this in with whatever you would normally play, we're okay with it. Okay, cool. What if somebody asks me for a song that I may not have? Oh, they'll be fine. They'll understand. Okay. And I got a lot of experience out of that wedding. He actually gave me such a long list, and he used to DJ soca and calypso events. So I got a great list of music that I could use for a wedding, and he helped me out. Now, I got lucky on that one. But there's nothing wrong with being honest with your client, because while DJ is a very important thing, it's like 90% of what we're out there for. Sometimes there's that connection between you and the client wants you, and you give that one, but hey, I really like what we have together. I think we're going to do a great event for you guys, but I don't play this kind of music. It's not my forte. Well, the client may say, okay, thank you very much for your honesty, or okay, no worries. We can provide you a list of music. In some cases, you can kind of do both. Like, listen, this is not my forte, but I really want to be your MC. I know I can DJ this part of the music. This particular style is not something I'm experienced with, so I'm going to hire somebody. It's not going to affect your pricing. This is rolled into the pricing we talked about, and they're going to fill that in. Is that okay? Cool. Now, you don't really have to tell them that, but I believe that if you're going to subcontract somebody else, you should always tell your client. I'm just very picky about that sort of thing. I think subcontracting is dishonest. And if you want to do a video as to why it's dishonest, let me know, and I'll talk and ramble on about that too. But in reality, this whole, you got to start somewhere. Yeah, you got to start somewhere, but that somewhere shouldn't be lying to your client or wrecking an event that could be the most important event of their life, especially if it's their wedding. So, yeah, what say ye? How did you start somewhere? Did you wing it, and how did it work out for you? Or did you do it one of the ways that I said, or do you have a different way? Leave a comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Good night, and God bless.